Hello everyone, I'm Christian Snow, and we've got a special episode for you this evening. We're here tonight with a Grammy Award-winning guest and Full Sail Hall of Famer. Introducing to you, Leslie Brathwaite.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right, and the first question I'd like to ask is for our Full Sail students, but what matters most in developing your career?
For me, I think the number one thing is just staying true to who you are, being who you are as a person, and that then shines through in all of the things that a lot of us, like a lot of the alums and the grads, come back and talk to the students, and where I was saying, like, network and make sure you work hard and all that good stuff. I think at the core of all of that is just really staying true to who you are.
Cool. And then how did you develop a professional mindset that got you to this place where you're working with Cardi B, Jay-Z, and other really
one of the main things for me is to always be in a mode of learning and practicing. And so it always happens. When I have a day off, I'm in the studio playing around with new plugins and learning new things and learning new gear. I'm always in the mind frame of practicing, learning, and I think that's what sets a bar for excellence, because a lot of times people think that it's about taking a break when the lights are off, and then when the lights come on, all of a sudden you got to perform. And for me, I'm always in the mindset of performing, always in the mindset of doing great. And that way, it builds a culture within yourself of, always excelling.
That's cool. And so what kind of things do these top artists look for in you the most? Why did they choose you versus all of these other people? Is it skills, relationship, something unique that you have?
A lot of times it's all of the above. A lot of times they want, obviously, somebody who is skilled at what they do, but they want to be able to be around somebody they like working with, somebody that makes them comfortable, somebody that gets them. An important thing I always say when I meet an artist and I work with an artist for the first time, it's about learning their language and learning how to talk to them, learning how to communicate to them, learning what terms they may say, what this term means, as opposed to how they feel about something. You got to really learn that language. And when you develop a language with someone where they don't have to do a whole lot of explaining, it makes their life easy, because creative people like to just go and do, and they don't have to sit there and explain everything. So that's a huge component of it. But it's knowing your craft, being good at what you do. It's a well-rounded picture.
All right, and as a well-rounded picture, I imagine that it's not just technical.
Mm-hmm.
What beyond just knowing the craft,
Mm-hmm.
is there more to it that you have seen?
Sure. I mean, just sometimes it's the soft. I like to call them the soft skills. So like knowing when to speak, when not to speak, when to offer your opinion. Sometimes you just gotta wait. Some people want you to be more involved. Some people want you to kind of say, hey, they want you to interject and be like, no, we should do this over, da da da. And some people like for them to be the center of attention, and they don't want you to speak your opinion. So you gotta kind of read the room, learn. It's all of those kind of soft skills. And just even things as trivial as, and I know I say it all the time and students laugh, but there are trivial things like knowing that hygiene is important. You gotta take showers every day. You can't show up to work not taking a shower and expect people to want to be around you, or you gotta make sure that your breath is not crazy, or it's all the skills, all the soft skills.
So basically, these are things that we all tend to just know to do, but the problem is we're not doing all of them.
Right.
We try to get just one right and think that's gonna reach success.
Yeah, a lot of people come through the doors or the ranks and think that just their skills is what gets them to a certain place, and it's not just your skills, it's everything else. Your personality, people gotta want to work with you, they gotta want to be around you, that kind of thing.
Okay, I got a fun question. If you were given a good amount of money to do a song that's not in your genre, which is hip hop and R&B, would you still do it?
Sure. Yeah, all the time. I'll
Even
figure
country?
it out. Sure. I've mixed country records before. You figure it out. And if there's something that the one thing you always want to do is any genre, especially genres that you're not familiar with, you want to respect that genre and respect that culture. And so if it's something that you're iffy on and not sure how to accomplish, go ask your peers or ask some, one of your colleagues that is more versed in that genre. And the other thing you got to remember too is if a country, like I've mixed records for Florida Georgia Line and country acts, but if they're coming to me, somebody who prominently mixes a Beyonce or Jay-Z or pop or R&B and hip hop, they're coming to me because they want that flavor in their music. They want something about what I do, they want that to translate and apply to what they're doing. So they're not necessarily coming to a hip hop guy expecting me to mix it like a country record. They want me to mix it like a hip hop record.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have more questions for you, but first we're gonna take a little break.
All right.
Hey man, you ready to go to night class?
Yeah, let's go get married.
All right, man. What's going on there?
It's sleep deprivation, man. She hasn't slept all week.
Okay. Maybe we should just get going. You get some rest.
Bye, Mary.
Welcome back, and now we are continuing this awesome interview we're having with Leslie Brathwaite, a Hall of Famer from Full Sail. So to continue with the questions that we wanted to know more about, I know that the music industry is extremely competitive. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of people who aren't just wishing, but they're probably fighting to get to your position and your level working with these top artists. What are some of the hardships that go on that we're prepared for, that we can fight that battle?
A lot of it is, understanding that I think part of it is just how you approach it. And a lot of times people, because it is a competitive industry and markets and all that stuff, but at the same time, nobody can do what any one person can do. I have a specific set of skills that are unique to me. I have a certain brand, and so I tend not to look at, I'm one of those people who, I don't really compare myself to others. I don't really look at the walk or pace of others. I just do what I do. And it's about just carving out your own niche and working at your own pace and working from your own place of whatever is in, kind of intended for you. You just kind of work and that stuff comes to you. But I'm not really into the competitive mind state. That's just not how I think and how I operate. And I get that it is a competitive field, but I don't process it that way.
So it's kind of like the secret is to lose your life, or to gain a life, you have to lose it. To gain a career, you have to give it up and just be
just
who you
detach
are.
from the whole idea of, like, I guess my theory is if you don't compete, you can't lose. So I just don't, that's not my mentality. I'm not racing with anyone else, or I'm only worried about me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It actually connects to the next question, which is for people just coming into Full Sail, what are some things that would be good for them to know?
Mm-hmm.
But one of them being, don't come into Full Sail with a competitive mindset.
Yeah, and again, different things work for different people. The thing is to know yourself, know who you are, know what you're capable of, know your strengths. I always preach to students, and whether students or even professionals, network with different types of students, different people in different degree programs, because your friends and your network is what eventually keeps you working, keeps different opportunities in front of you. And I always make the analogy that if you're a guitar player and all your friends are guitar players, then your band is gonna suck. But if you're a guitar player and one of your friends is a drummer and you got a vocalist, and all of a sudden you can do things. So to me, it's more about understanding that school is not just only an academic experience, it's a social experience, and it's about making friends and building a network of people that you can count on later in your career. So.
All right, and then after they graduate Full Sail, I imagine all of this stuff continues.
Sure.
What are some key pointers you have for people that are on their last month and they're trying to figure this out? What do I do next?
First thing I always ask students when they're in their later months, Do you know your career dev rep, your career development rep? Have you had a chance to sit down with your career development rep? Did you go over any type of plans? Did you send out resumes? Did you get an idea of where you want to live? If you're in audio per se, and your goal is to work in a recording studio, figure out where you want to live, look at all the recording studios in that area. If you have a chance, instead of going on vacation for spring break, take a 2-day or 3-day trip to the city that you might want to live in and explore and start introducing yourself to the front desk people and the studio managers and whoever you come in contact with. It's all of that kind of stuff, that kind of groundwork you should be working on, especially in the last few months of your walk here at school. But I always encourage students, don't wait till the last few months. Like they have, even though you're not assigned a career development rep until I think 3 months out, even before that, every Wednesday they have open door at career development. You go up there and get to know your reps and use the resources on campus that are here for you. And that can be a huge step in you figuring out what you need to do to put yourself out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if I may ask, how did that play out for you when you graduated Full Sail?
Yeah, I was in my career development. We call it career dev, but it's career development. But I was in my career dev rep's office every day to the point where like she would have me breakfast in there as I come in because she knew I was coming. Every morning I was in her office, and she was recently, for years, she was actually she's now or was now the head of career development. She's now the president of LA Film School, Tammy Elliott. But she was my rep, and I would, back in the day, I would be in her office every day. And it was about building that relationship, and how it played out for me was I would go to Tammy and say, hey, I want to move to Atlanta. I think Atlanta's the market that I will thrive in. And then she told me the exact same thing. Hey, for spring break, instead of going on vacation, why don't you go up to Atlanta and meet a few studio managers? That's exactly what I did.
So then right after that, you just jumped right into Cardi B? Like how?
No,
did it?
No, it doesn't work like
that easy?
Yeah, right after school, I then when I graduated, I had taken a trip to Atlanta and met a few people and told them, look, when I graduate, I want to come intern. Sure enough, as soon as I graduated, drove up, started interning. So I worked my way up. I started cleaning the bathroom and going for coffee and doing all these things that were not obviously what I wanted to be doing. But in exchange, I got to sit around and I got to stay at the studio and learn. And I always tell people, the thing about doing these jobs and taking these steps where you may not want to be doing a specific job right then, but it's not about the job, it's about how you do it, it's about the character you show. Because if somebody doesn't have anything else to go on, all they're going on is how I perform that job. So I'll give you an example. If there's 2 interns, right? Okay. And I asked both interns, hey, can you go clean the bathroom for me, right? The first intern, he kind of does a half job. He doesn't really clean it well. It's okay. Second intern cleans it amazingly well, right?
Yeah.
Good job. Toilet is super clean. Bathroom smells amazing. When I have a job that doesn't entail bathroom work, when it's something they want to do, the next time around, the person I'm going to pick is the person who did a good job in the bathroom, because that's the only thing I have to go on is your character, how you did the job, how you did something that you didn't want to do, that kind of thing. So it's about, those are the things that I think help propel your career. Okay.
And do you think it's a mindset that you adapt as you get these opportunities, or?
I think that's a mindset you should have as a student. Just that you should always have that mindset of anything you're asked to do a good job. Anything you're around, be excellent at it. And it shouldn't just be your mindset just when it only matters to you. It's about add value to any situation you're in. When I'm walking around campus, people see me all day long picking up cups and picking up papers that I walk by because I care about this campus. This isn't my campus, but it is my campus. And that's the mentality of, I would do that in my house. If I seen a cup or paper laying around in my house, I would pick it up. So wherever I'm at, if I see a paper or a cup, and if it's something I care about, yes, I'll pick it up. So it's about always having a certain mindset.
All right, that wraps up our interview with Leslie Brathwaite. Thank you. You answered questions in a way that I believe pertains to all of us in all of our degree programs. We are going to now transition to a performance by Florencia Miniti.
Day after day, I don't sleep at night. Breath after breath, missing you all the time. Starting steps can be so rough, but something like this is enough to find our strength. We're fighting through the time and distance to be with you every day that I'm with you. You got me insane. Yeah, what am I supposed to do when you're away and I'm missing you? I'm stuck in the rain and I need you. Ooh, ooh, weeks become months, but the love sprouts right up. Ooh, each day we get closer to the day we are one. Ooh, fantasy to reality. I do believe that we can be the next best thing in history. The moonbeam dream to bloom and gleam every day that I'm with you. You got me insane. Yeah, what am I supposed to do when you're away and I'm missing you? I'm stuck in the rain and I need you. Every day that I'm with you, I'm stuck in the rain and I need you. Thank you.
That's all we have for today. Be sure to follow us on social media, and we'll see you next time.